So this has to do with Mars. Kalask mentioned that the so-called face on Mars was built by humans, which really surprised me because in the past, whenever I would see someone claiming that the object in the famous 1976 Viking 1 photo was a man-made structure, I would show them much higher resolution photos taken years later in which the object looks nothing like a face, just a normal hill. Can you please resolve this decades-old mystery for the sake of mankind and tell us what the true nature and backstory is of this object?
It was built by a certain race of what you consider perhaps humans that colonized parts of your solar system that are also linked to what you consider Illuminati. They simply built it after one of their faces, so it was somewhat like a reference point, like the Sphinx of Egypt, for example. However, it has been altered by corrosion.
Roughly how long ago was it built?
From what I'm aware of, at least a million years.
Okay. And is it just a solid object, or are there tunnels and rooms inside of it?
There are certain parts that are hollowed, yes. But it is one piece, it wasn't brought there or anything. It's a hollowed out and shaped rock.
Okay. Can you describe what it looked like when it was in its best condition? Like, for example, was it painted a certain color, and was the mouth open or closed?
I believe the mouth was opened. There was, however, the ability to close it. Technically.
Interesting. So was it like ships would fly through the mouth or something?
Yes.
Cool.
Like a
Um,
hanger, perhaps.
right. Cool. What color was it?
Grayish. Beige.
Oh, I got you. Cool. Um, Now some people believe there are photos showing similar faces elsewhere on Mars. Do you know if there is in fact more than one face?
Not just on Mars, yes.
Um, Now, as you may know, there are several objects near this face which some people believe are pyramids. Do you know if these are in fact pyramids?
Yes, there are very many pyramids on Mars.
So the ones in the vicinity of the face that I was just talking about, like whenever I look at a photo of it, it's hard to tell like what's a pyramid and what's just, a hill. Can you tell me like how many actual pyramids there were in the vicinity of the face?
Four, very closely. Some more further in the background, around 16 perhaps.
Wow. It seems like this region must have been pretty important. Was it like a city or something?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Cool. Now, what's really interesting about this region is that on the CIA's official website, there's a declassified transcript from May 22nd, 1984, where like some kind of channeler was told geographic coordinates on Mars, and these just so happen to be the region of the face and the pyramids. And he was asked to focus his attention on the region at a time of approximately 1 million years ago. And he then describes seeing a yellowish greenish pyramid, very large, thin and tall people, and severe storms and dust clouds, which he describes as an quote after effect of a major geologic problem, end quote. Was what he saw accurate? And if so, who were these tall people and what caused this major geologic problem?
I believe those are the same people that later built civilizations on your planet. The problems were mostly caused by impact. Also, warlike scenario among the same group. Before the
What?
creation of your species, from what I'm aware of. at least in its current form.
How tall were these people?
I believe they were between 2 and 3 of your meters, so they wouldn't be quite as tall as I am, for example, but they would get close, some of them.
Cool. All right, now the channeler then sort of astral projects to 7 different locations around the planet before the geologic problem, and he sees things like a large obelisk at the end of a large road intersecting aqueducts, huge underground rooms, and more pyramids, which he says are shelters from storms and are intended for the tall people to hibernate in through the storms. Does any of this sound accurate?
Yes, to some degree. There was more
So,
electricity, however. It was more of a high-tech civilization than this description. It doesn't contradict it, but there was more enhancement there than what this might describe, and there was also a large degree of lakes and rivers.
so did these tall people like literally hibernate through these big dust storms?
Yes. Not all of them, but most of them.
I see.
They had come there from another place also.
I see. Um,
Some of them are still there.
do you know if Mars, like, if the north hemisphere of Mars used to be one big ocean like we believe?
Mostly. There were islands, but it was an ocean, yes.
Cool, cool. All right, now the channeler then goes into like, as he's astral projecting, he goes into one of these pyramids and he asks the tall people to tell him about themselves and says that they're ancient people that are dying and looking for a way to survive but can't, and they're hanging on waiting for something to return with the answer. And he says, quote, there evidently was a group or a party of them that went to find a new place to live. It's like I'm getting all kinds of overwhelming input of the corruption of their environment. It's failing very, very rapidly, and this group went somewhere, like a long way to find another place to live, end quote. Do you know if this group ever found a place for them to live or whatever happened to them?
Certain groups that arrived there on Mars later came to Earth, so to some place Earth was a place to live, yes. They came to Mars from another place to begin with.
Um, when did they arrive on Earth? Was it during the Atlantean period?
Yes. Some earlier. Some of the civilization you're finding in Antarctica are from them.
I got you.
There was a civilization also you consider Hyperborean that was heavily influenced by them.
Right, right.